to talk about our Jack. Because he was our Jack, all of ours. We, over the last few days, have spent hour upon hour going over photos for last night and for today. And it was astonishing, it was remarkable how few we could find of Jack alone. In every case, it was Jack with Ben, with their heads together, playing at something. Or Ben and Julia, we have a ritual where we take a first day of school photo on the front steps of every house we've lived in. Or our Christmas morning photo of the three kids on the staircase, always in the new PJs. We have photos with the twins up at the Evans farm, photos with our friends from Kenilworth and Lawrence Park, and so many from the wonderful trips we took as a family. We have a few too many photos of Eric and I standing in the cold, waiting for Jack's boat to go in the water or come out of the water. It's clear that for so much of his life, he was surrounded with family and friends and laughter and love. And so we know that in being here today, you are celebrating with us the Jack that we loved. Our Jack, he was beautiful and bright and sweet and courageous and strong-minded, and even my irresistible force could not touch his immovable object. When you think of Jack, the first things you think of are his quick mind and letter-perfect memory, his quiet manner, and I'm his mother, his good looks. And he had a wickedly dry sense of humor. We've never understood his choice in music, rock bands from the 70s, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Queen, Sting, Supertramp, the Beatles, Nick. And he didn't seem to be fussed at all that we could actually sing along to all of his music. Jack had his fair share of what we like to call incidents or stories. Might have been a little accident prone. He schmucked his teeth as a toddler and looked like a hockey player. And then later, playing with Jack C., pulled out his permanent front tooth, went back in on a rope on Jack C.'s playset. And then there was the little scratch on his knee that put him in the orthopedics ward at Sick Kids. And then the time we got the call, we were in Chicago, from his beloved Camp Amick, telling us that everything was fine now that they had found Jack after he had spent the night lost in the bush on his week-long canoe trip. Jack loved our family cottage in Phillips Harbor, Nova Scotia. When he was still teensy tiny, Papa would take him every morning. Jack in his windbreaker and life jacket, Papa with his coffee, and they'd sing, "Row, row, row your boat," out in the dory. And then he moved on to swimming nonstop, diving from Jerry's boat, with Ben and Jewel, and if he was really lucky, with Megan and Jenny. When he started to row at New Trier in Chicago, it felt like the ideal sport for him, as long as he stayed in the lightweight or midweight divisions. Once his coxie and very good friend Sally said, after a tough regatta, Jack pulled his weight. And rowing and maybe in life, this is what we can ask for. When we moved back to Toronto, he chose Ridley. He wanted to row. He was unimpressed by the hours that UCC kept. And he wanted the more civilized afternoon practices in St. Catharines that he'd had in Chicago. We struggled with the idea of him being away, but the beautiful setting and the built-in social structure felt like the right match for our quiet Jack. We had a beautiful week together at Christmas at Whistler skiing. Jack took his greatest pleasure from getting maximum speed, and he had done the math that told him that turning slowed him down significantly. We were together the whole time, sharing the hills, fondue dinner, quiet time, and his Aunt Janice was with us. Where can meaning be in a day like today? We thought, we hoped as his parents that love was enough, and we loved him with every fiber of our being. But Jack was always his own person, making his own decisions, and we can't possibly understand this one, but we can try to bridge the gap with the warmth of our memories and our love for him. And as Jack asked, we can use it for an opportunity to do some good.
thank you for being with us today. We'll need you in the weeks and months to come, and we'll know you'll be there for us. I have some special thanks to people who came to be with us, the Van Firths and Luc de Vries from the Netherlands. We tried to talk them out of it, and it was not going to happen. We're so glad they're here. Janice, of course, from Vancouver. The Cornews, our dear friends, and the Sondheimers from Chicago. Stuart and Barb got in the car yesterday morning, drove straight here. They were the first ones there last night, and they had to return, so they drove back about as far as Windsor last night. The BC Windelers, you know who you are, and my sister Beth from Nova Scotia. Of course, our extended family on both sides, too many to name, primarily from all over Ontario and Ohio, really showed their colors. I really was touched, and I'm sure I will be today, but also yesterday, to see my colleagues, past and present, and the incredible showing from Sandra's colleagues at the BMO Financial family. It was great to see you all. Thank you for coming. Special thanks to all the special friends and family who couldn't be here, but who took the time to offer such supportive condolences. A few messages really struck home from people that had a similar situation or a close situation, and that sharing helped us deal with it. We have a special thanks to Chris and Lisa Caswell. Their family are in our thoughts today. Yesterday, Lisa provided a life-saving kidney transplant to her son, Graham. And Graham was a good friend of Jack as well as Ben and Julia. We haven't heard, but we assume things went well. Saturday, we lost our son. He was so special to us and to so many. I truly believe that he understood and knew that. As we slowly come to grips with this event, which has permanently changed our lives, we are sure of one thing. We want some good to come of this, some ongoing good to come of this. Jack specifically left words that our attention should be directed to helping others. So to honor that wish, we'll be focused on programs that help teach people to watch out for their friends, watch out for their family, their co-workers, their classmates, their dorm mates. We each need to learn to better identify the possible Jacks, people who need but cannot unfortunately ask for help. But if they were given some help at just the right time, they might be okay and they wouldn't be lost. For Jack, we must let it be, but for others, we will not let it be. Jack, we love you, and we miss you.